Hello and welcome to yet another YouTube video. Today we are diving into some of my thoughts for the future of note-taking and productivity apps. I will mostly do note-taking apps, but I have some general productivity things as well. And the first one is that I am actually a big believer in visual note-taking apps. So things like Afine or Napkin or even Obsidian with the canvas, Logsec with their whiteboards. I think ClickUp also has whiteboards as well, but I haven't tested ClickUp whiteboards yet, so I can't say whether or not they are actually any good. But I believe that a more visual approach is something that a lot of people will enjoy, and I also believe that things like Notion will implement this. So all of the major players will implement something like this. I know that Craft is coming out with their own version as well. And I also do believe that all note-taking apps, no matter what they do or how they do things, I think that all of them will probably implement something like this. But I will get back to that later in the video with all note-taking apps and how I feel like they actually do the same thing. But I will get back to that. I believe that apps like Afine will succeed, and I believe that things, if they don't get bought up by something like Notion has a tendency to buy companies, and that is the good thing about being a big company, is that you can actually buy some of the trends. And I honestly think that with this technology and how good it is right now, with the ability to whiteboard and even actually turn those whiteboards into a page. So if Afine does that, you can write in the whiteboard and you can get it in the page layout as well. I believe that it will become a big winner. I also see a trend where more of the hardcore productivity nerds, just like I am, are going towards more open source apps. I don't know if that would succeed in the long run, but I see that there is a lot more caution about privacy, and things like Afine again will succeed. Things like Anytype as well. Both privacy and knowing what you put your notes into. So local storage and open source apps, I believe that that will just continue to grow, especially in the hardcore productivity community, and productivity for what I call normal people, which aren't people that spend their whole life inside of productivity apps. Not so much. They won't necessarily care too much. The next thing I think is that AI, like the things Napkin has and Mem has with MEmX, will actually be a huge trend where you can get help from AI to connect your different notes and ideas. And Napkin does this quite well, where it auto tags all of your notes, and once you actually press one of them, you get all of the similar notes up at the same time. So this is huge because many of us take a lot of notes, and it is really hard when you have thousands or even hundreds of notes to find connection between them. But that is probably the most important thing about your notes, is to find connections between different ideas. So between ideas you had a while ago and ideas you have now, it is one of the best things about having a note-taking app and sticking with a note-taking app for a long time. So I believe that this will also become a thing that more and more note-taking apps will implement. And as AI gets better, because it is just getting better and better, and the technology becomes cheaper, I think that most note-taking apps will have something like this. Another thing I think most note-taking apps will have is the chat feature right here. So I asked my chat in Mem AI for the questions for my podcast episode, but I believe that a chat feature like this is something that all note-taking apps will have. So as I said earlier in the video, I believe that most note-taking apps do the same thing. So most note-taking apps actually help you with or allow you to take notes and put notes into a digital app of some sort. The way they do it is a little bit different. So some people might like longer form writing than things like Obsidian, things like Mem is a lot better. Some people would like to have more structure to their notes. Then something like Notion is amazing. Find does well in that department. And my thoughts is that most of the features you see, like the chat or the connection of notes, will actually be implemented in many of, if not all of the note-taking apps. Maybe not right away, but let's say in 5 to 10 years, I believe that you can't get away with not having those features. Some apps might be able to, things like for students like RemNote, for example, might not need to have a Q&A feature and way to connect notes, but they already have the AI flashcards. So I think that more and more, or most of the note-taking applications will come closer together. The only thing that will be a little different is how we like to take notes. So whether you like to be an outliner, you like to write on cards, you like to take longer notes, you are an architect that wants to have structure in your notes. So architect, as you may know, is a form of note taker. I again believe that they will just have all of these features. So if, for example, you wanted a chat feature and you're looking at something like Mem or Notion with the Q&A, or even ClickUp with the Q&A as well, I wouldn't jump ship if you're happy with the note-taking app you have right now, because your note-taking app will probably implement it at some point. So what I'm seeing is that more and more note-taking apps are actually implementing this chat feature, which makes it a little hard for Mem, because that's the whole selling point of the app. So it will be exciting to see how these apps, how this app continues to develop. Another thing I have on note-taking app is that I believe that capture tools like Lazy and even things like Tooth that simply allows you to capture things quite easily and to take notes quite easily, I think they will become more popular, especially for the not so hardcore productivity people. It is just a simple way to take notes, and I believe that Lazy will be the big winner of this. And this is an app I have touched on before, but it allows you to capture so fast, and even with the mobile app, that it allows you to capture so incredibly fast. And a lot of us do not take notes simply because it is a hassle to sit and write things down. Our brains are going too fast, so we can't take a break to actually write things down. And apps like Lazy, even with the AI features it has as well, and if it implements something like Napkin has and Mem has with the chat and the similar notes, I think that this will become a huge application. It is still early days, but I am a big believer of quick capture and capture tools. So that is also a trend I think will continue. The last one is that I think to-do list apps are pretty much gone in a few years. I think daily planners are the new thing. Not necessarily that things like Todoist will disappear, but I believe that they will implement a bit more daily planning in the future. So this is Sunsama, as you might know, and it is a daily planner. I am a big believer of daily planner apps, and so is Francesco on the Keep Productive channel. I think honestly that to-do list apps will disappear in favor of apps that do daily planning, or to-do list apps might implement integrations towards daily planners. Even note-taking apps like Evernote are trying to implement something with daily planning and calendar blocking, and all-in-one applications like Notion with their calendar or Evernote will probably implement daily planning as well. So that is my thoughts on the current trends in productivity. Some of them, most of them might be wrong. Actually, it is just my thoughts, but I thought it was fun to share them with you. Let me know what you think down below. What are your thoughts? And I would love to have a discussion in the comment sections. As usual, if you have any questions, feel free to leave them down below and I will try to get to them as soon as I can. Thank you so much for watching today's video.